New update on these $1,200 monthly checks focused on low-income individuals, otherwise known as guaranteed basic income. Let's get right into it and discuss all of the latest details. Welcome everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. If you're new here or if you haven't done so yet, make sure to hit the subscribe button right down below the video, as I'm back every single day in videos just like this one to help you out in any way that I can throughout this incredibly difficult and confusing time. I am also very much dedicated and committed to making sure that you get as much money as you possibly can through all of these stimulus packages, stimulus checks, and other stimulus provisions and other proposals, just like what we're going to talk about in this video. So again, make sure to subscribe right down below so you don't miss any of my videos going forward, as we have a lot of really good information to discuss over the coming days and weeks. Also, feel free to share this video with your friends, family, and social media. Ask them to come over, check out some videos, and of course, subscribe to the channel. All right, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And please remember, I'm here to help out in any way that I possibly can every single day. All right, let's talk about these $1,200 monthly checks focused on low-income individuals. Now, if you've been watching my channel for a while now, you know that we talked about this about 3 or so months ago. As it hit the wire, it was fresh, hot off the press. It was just talked about, and we came back right there in a fresh video talking about all of the latest details on this. Now, over the last 3 or so months ago, since we've heard about this originally as it was introduced, we haven't heard a whole lot about these $1,200 checks. In fact, I've seen a few people reaching out saying, hey, whatever happened to those $1,200 monthly checks that we heard about 3 months ago? Good question. So I started doing some research on this because I thought, hey, that's actually a really good question. I wonder what is actually going on with these things. So I did some research on this, and we do have a few minor updates that I want to discuss in this video regarding these payments. So really quickly, let me preface this by telling you where these $1,200 checks are actually coming from. What is this from? If you haven't been watching the channel for a while now, you may not even know about this. But about 3 or so months ago, I'm guessing it was about 3 months ago, this was actually originally introduced by a representative out of the House of Representatives, Ilhan Omar, who happens to be a Democrat. Now, since about the beginning of the year, we've been seeing all of these different reports that she was going to be coming out introducing a guaranteed basic income program focused on low-income individuals sometime in this Congress. Well, leading up to that announcement, I was twiddling my thumbs. I was getting very excited because I thought I can't even imagine what it's going to be as far as this guaranteed basic income program that she's going to be announcing. So I was very excited to hear what the details would actually be on this thing. Well, about 3 months ago, we got the official announcement, and it includes a $1,200 monthly check focused on low-income individuals. Now, you might be wondering, how do they identify a low-income individual? Well, according to this, it is anybody earning under $75,000 every single year. So you might look at that and think, really? They're including $75,000 as a low income? Well, that's just what they have written in there. Yeah. To me, low income would be probably less than that. But again, that's just my opinion. Doesn't really matter what I think. It is what is within the proposal as far as how they're identifying low income individuals. So anybody under $75,000 of income would be potentially eligible to receive this $1,200 per month on a monthly basis going forward. In addition to that, if you have kids, again, the age parameters on kids I would anticipate will probably be 17 and younger. Again, I did not see a specific a specific age on what the age parameters would be as far as a kid. But if you have kids, it would be an additional $600 every single month going forward. So as you can see, there's a lot of money at stake here on a monthly basis. But now, these are the payments that would want to be going out on a monthly basis. And again, there's not necessarily an end date on this. They would technically, once they start, it sounds like this is something that they would want to continue indefinitely. In other words, forever. They'd want to continue these $1,200 payments essentially forever, as there didn't appear to be an end date on this as far as when they would want to do this. So here's what we're seeing now. There's actually quite a bit of support for this, that they want to initiate that $2.5 billion into this next stimulus package, where they could actually take this money and start setting up all of these different pilot programs. Now, with the original announcement out of this $1,200 check on a monthly basis, we did note that there was also there's this idea idea that they wanted to take $2.5 billion and set up hundreds of pilot programs around the country and kind of get this whole thing rolling to see the progress and to see what kind of success that they're seeing with these types of programs. Well, like we talked about 3 months ago when I originally announced this, what's interesting about it is we already see that there are pilot programs all over the country right now that are sending out monthly payments to families and individuals on an ongoing monthly basis as a result of universal basic income or guaranteed basic income programs that are already established out there right here, right now. But they still want to take $2.5 billion and they want to set up all of these other pilot programs out around the country. They happen to say hundreds of these programs. So if there's hundreds of these programs, I would anticipate maybe like a handful of them per state, maybe 2 or 3 or something like that per state. I'm not really sure how they're going to allocate it. Maybe it's going to be based on population or need, or I'm not really sure what the demographics are of the state. I'm not really sure how they're going to do this. They've just simply said that they want to set up hundreds of these pilot programs with the $2.5 billion that they want to allocate for this. And then they want to come back in a matter of just years, years, I guess I should say. Years sounds like a very long time. But in 2028, they want to come back and they want to start implementing these $1,200 payments on an ongoing basis for low-income individuals based on the data that they receive out of these pilot programs. Now again, why they actually need multiple years of data in order to figure out if they need these pilot program or if they need this guaranteed basic income program seems a little bit weird. Why they would need about 6 years, over 6 years to get all this data before they can actually start implementing these $1,200 payments seems a little bit weird to me, but that's just what they're going to do. But either way, they still want to set up all of these programs and they ultimately want to get these $1,200 checks out the door. But either way, this could be coming, and this is something that we've actually been waiting for quite a long time now, because as I've been anticipating for over a year now, I've been saying, watch, there's going to be a nationwide UBI or GBI program at some point. Well, we got the announcement on this one. This is a nationwide GBI program that encompasses millions upon millions of people and families in a matter of just years from now as they implement this thing. So, but yeah, there's actually a lot of increased support on this, and they do absolutely want to set up all those pilot programs and start funding these things and start to see the progress on all of these pilot programs to see what kind of success they're actually having with them and if these programs are actually necessary. Which again, we already talked about this, but we already know that these guaranteed basic income programs like this are already incredibly successful. We've seen this across many different programs and states that are going on right now, that we know that these programs are incredibly successful. They send out these monthly payments to low-income individuals, and then those people can spend the money on whatever they need on an ongoing monthly basis, whatever it happens to be. Literally, you can spend the money on anything. You could buy yourself some new clothes one month. You could buy yourself a refrigerator the next month. You could buy yourself food the next month. It literally does not matter what the money is spent on. For the most part, they basically just send it out and say, here, spend it on whatever you see fit. And we would imagine that that would be the exact same thing that would happen once again with these $1,200 payments as far as this guaranteed basic income program from this representative, Ilhan Omar, as introduced about 3 or so months ago. But it's actually looking a little bit promising considering this level of support that they're getting for these $1,200 payments. This could actually be a really, really good thing for low income and fixed income beneficiaries as we roll on and think about talking about implementing this $1,200 payment for all of these beneficiaries and all of these low income individuals, right? So, we could be talking about roughly looking at some numbers, we could be looking at probably about 100 million people that could be getting these payments on an ongoing basis. About a third of our population right here in the country. That'd be a lot of people, right? So, yeah, that could be huge. But anyway, I wanted to come back and give you a quick update on this. For those of you that have been reaching out to me asking about these $1,200 payments, this is what we have as of right now. There is a lot of increased support, which is kind of pretty cool, right? It's encouraging for one. But either way, I wanted to give you this quick update. We haven't talked about this in probably, a couple months now. And I wanted to come back and give you this update as I've had those of you reaching out asking me what's going on with this. And I wanted to come back and give you those updates. So this is what we have as of right now. again, I'll continue watching it as I do with everything else. I'll keep you posted with any further details. And as we get more details and updates on this, of course, I'll be right here for you, and I'll give those to you in any way that I can to help you out, to make sure that you're getting all the money that you're eligible to receive. So again, go back, check out some other videos right here on the channel, share this video or any others here on the channel with your friends, family, and social media. And again, thank you so much for your support. Subscribe down below, and of course, I'll see you again later in the next video.